Hello everyone, and welcome to our pronunciation video series. My name is Professor Feng, and today we'll be doing video lesson 5. And our topic today is intonation. So what is intonation? Intonation is the melody of the language. And today we're going to be talking about the melody of English and how to use the type of intonation that will make your English sound fluent and natural. Sometimes when I'm teaching in class, I'll hear my students speaking and I'll say, "Oh, please remember everybody, we speak English in class." And my students will say, "That was English." So then I say, "Oh, the problem was that their intonation sounded different. I wasn't listening to the exact words they said. I was just listening to how the melody sounded. And if the intonation sounds a little different, it might not quite sound like English if you're not listening carefully to each word." So, developing our English intonation will help us to sound natural and fluent and will make our English sound like English. So, let's go ahead and get started. What are we going to learn about today? Well, 3 things we're going to do today. The first one is we're going to talk about the most common type of intonation, the one that is used the most often in English. Then we'll talk about a second type of intonation that's also important for students. And then finally, I'll give you 2 things that you can do to practice your intonation. 2 ways that you can practice it on your own. So, let's go ahead and look at a couple sentences and talk about English intonation. So, let's look at our sentences over here. I have our first sentence for us. Repeat after me. He's going to work. Okay, now we have some intonation on here, and it actually comes on our word work. Listen to me pronounce it again. He's going to work. Did you think my intonation was going up or was going down? He's going to work. Yeah, that's right. That intonation was going down. How about this sentence? Repeat after me. She's using a pen. She's using a pen. What was the intonation on pen? Was it up or was it down? Yeah, that was going down as well. How about our last sentence? Repeat after me. They are speaking English. They are speaking English. And you should have heard that one go up and down as well. And this intonation that you see on these 3 sentences, this is the most normal intonation in English at the end of sentences. Notice that it goes up a little bit and then it goes down. And that is our normal intonation in English. Sometimes we call it rising, falling, or sometimes we just call it falling intonation. I often describe English as being kind of like the waves of the ocean. If you're speaking English, you would say something like, he's using a pen. He's using a pen. She's going to work. I live in California. And your intonation is falling and falling, kind of almost like you are falling over a cliff, right? My name is Professor Feng. I teach pronunciation. And it goes down and it goes down and it goes down. So this helps us to develop a rule for pronunciation. Let's go ahead and look at that. Where do English speakers use intonation? Is it at the beginning of the sentence? No, it's at the end of the sentence, right? So our intonation comes at the end of the sentence, and actually where it comes is on our very last stressed syllable. Okay, one more question. What type of intonation is used the most? On those sentences that I was speaking for you, was my intonation going up or was my intonation going down? Yeah, it was going down, it was falling. And that is the most common intonation in English, intonation that goes down. Like the waves of the ocean, or like going over a mountain. Our intonation in English is constantly going down. And then it goes down. And then it goes down. And that is our most common intonation in English. Now let's go ahead and practice this together a little bit. So for example, you can see some sentences on our screen. At home I normally... And I didn't finish the sentence for you. And that's because what I would like you to do is to use those words and then finish the sentence any way that you want, but use intonation that goes down when you do so. So you would say, at home I normally do chores. At home I normally do the dishes. And what I want you to try to do is feel where the end is and try to make your intonation go down. Or for the second one, when I'm sick, I often go to the doctor, or something like that. So I'll speak the first part, you can repeat after me, and then I want you to keep going and finish it and put your intonation down. Okay, so repeat after me and then finish. You can pause if you need to. At home I normally... Okay, good. Yeah, something like, at home I normally play with my children. Or at home I normally spend time with my family. All of those are going down and going down. How about the next one? Repeat after me and then finish. When I'm sick, I often... Okay, good. Maybe something like, when I'm sick, I often take medicine. Or when I am sick, I often go to the doctor. But all of those should go doctor, medicine, should reflect that down intonation. Okay, let's try one more. Repeat after me and then finish it and make your voice go down. When I'm happy, I always... Okay, yeah, something like, when I'm happy, I always smile. Or when I'm happy, I always sing. I don't know what you do when you're happy, but what you're practicing is making that intonation go down at the end of every line, like that wave of the ocean. Now, this is the most common, most normal intonation in English, is this intonation that goes down and down and down. It's a little different for every speaker. Some speakers go up and down, and some speakers just go down. So it will be a little bit different for everybody, but everybody will be going down. However, this is not the only intonation that we have in English. We do have another type of intonation, which is the intonation that goes up, or rising intonation. So sometimes we use rising intonation in different situations. Let's go ahead and look at some sentences and talk about what intonation is the best intonation to use for these. Okay, I have a couple sentences for you here. Take a look at the first sentence. I am late. What intonation are you probably using on that sentence? Yeah, you're right. You're going to go down. I am late. I'm not going to draw it on there because actually you could say it this way. I am late. But that gives you a different meaning. What does it mean if I choose to go up there instead of down? I am late? It sounds like I didn't know, or I'm not sure, or I don't quite know what I'm talking about. Like I thought I was on time, but I'm not on time. I am late is possible. Not the normal one, however. The normal one would be, I am late. Then I know I'm late, and I'm admitting I'm late. Okay, what about this one? Is he late? Is that going down or going up? Listen to it again. Is he late? Yeah, that would be going up. And that's very normal for this type of question. What type of question is this? Do you know the types of questions in English? This one starts with an is, so this is what is called a yes-no question. Okay, pronounce it after me and make your intonation go up. Is he late? When we do our intonation, what we can do is we can make the vowel a little bit longer, and that gives us space to go up or to go down. Try it again. Is he late? Okay, good. What about this last question? Why are you late? Why are you late? Is that one going up or going down? Listen to it very carefully. Why are you late? Hopefully you heard that that one is actually going down. Now, you might have thought, oh, all questions in English go up. That's a normal feeling or a normal thought. But actually, if you look at this question, it does not go up. Why are you late? Why are you late? That one is going down. And this is normal for this type of question. This is not a yes-no question. This question begins with why. It's a different type of question. We call these questions WH questions. And we call them that because they usually start with WH words. Why, who, what, when, where, those types of words. And they will have that intonation that goes down. So let's try out different intonations. Repeat after me. I am late. That was when I wasn't sure. Now we are going to be certain. I am late. Okay, try our question, yes, no. Is he late? And try our WH question. Why are you late? Okay, good. So now you can see our two types of intonation in English, and you can know our rules for this intonation. We want to use falling or intonation that goes down. When do we use that? I think you know from what we looked at. Yeah, for most sentences, for most statements, most of the time, actually, and for WH questions. Okay, well, when do we use rising intonation or intonation that goes up? You should know from the ones we just practiced. Can you say it? Yeah, rising intonation is for those yes-no questions, and also when we're not quite sure, right? When you're not sure, and for yes-no questions. Okay, so let's practice these rules a little bit. I bet you can tell me what type of intonation you need for some sentences and questions that I have over here. Take a look at them. The first one says, "What are you doing?" And what type of intonation do you need to use for that one? Do you know? Yes, you want an intonation that goes down. Why do you want an intonation that goes down or a falling intonation? Good, because of the WH word at the beginning. Repeat after me. What are you doing? Yeah, good. Okay, how about the next one? Even without me speaking it, I think you know what intonation to use, do you? Good, it should be rising. And why are we using rising? Because it's a yes-no question, exactly. See, it starts with are, and the answer is yes or no. Repeat after me. Are you tired? Yeah, very good. What about this one? What intonation do you think you would use for this? Okay, good. So for this, we would want to go down. We'd want to use falling intonation. Please call me is going to be the intonation that we would use for that one. It comes on the last stressed syllable. Me's not important, so we want to do it on call. Please call me. And it's going down because it's just a normal statement, just a normal sentence. Repeat after me. Please call me. Are you tired? What are you doing? Okay, very nice. All right, so let me test you a little bit. The other thing we talked about for intonation is that you will know from intonation if the person is sure or not sure. So I'm going to read the sentence, and I want you to say if you think I am sure or I am not sure. So listen and then reply if you think I'm sure or not sure. She is sick? Yeah, that's right, not sure. How about the next one? The food is cooked. Yeah, you're right, I was sure of that one. How about one more? The job is available? Good, I was not sure or not certain on that one because my intonation went up. Excellent, so now you know our two types of intonation. The most normal type, which is falling like the wave of the ocean, and going up at the end when we are not sure or when we have a yes-no question. And here are two ways that you can practice this now on your own. The first thing I recommend is that you write down 10 sentences, okay? And then mark the intonation on them. So indicate if you think you will be rising intonation or rising falling, like we did on the video. Then pronounce them and record them and listen to yourself. How does your intonation sound? Now, another thing I would recommend is that you write down 10 questions. Make some of them yes-no questions, make some of them WH questions. Mark the intonation on those, pronounce them, and record them. Remember that recording yourself and listening to your own voice is one of the best ways that you can work on your pronunciation. Thank you so much for joining me today.